Hey y'all, I'm Karen Mayer Cunningham, the special education boss. If you've ever felt confused, overwhelmed, or just plain frustrated at the 504 IEP table, you are in the right place. Every week, I'm breaking down the rules, the rights, and the realities of special education so you can walk into meetings informed, empowered, and ready to make real change. And whether you're a parent, a teacher, an advocate, a school-based member, or somebody who's just trying to do right by a student, this podcast gives you straight talk, real answers, and tools that you can use immediately. I'm not here to play politics. I'm not here to play sides. I'm here to train people who sit at the table and teach you how to follow the law, ask the right questions, and protect the rights of students. So go ahead and hit subscribe, share this with a friend, and you know what? Meet me back here every single week. We're not just talking about change. We're making it. Because when you know better, you do better. And when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody. If we haven't met, Karen Mayer Cunningham, Special Education Boss, training everyone that sits at the 504 IEP table to navigate and negotiate successful student outcomes. And can we just talk about the book? Cindy, are people talking about the book? Yes, so this is what you need. This is going to change everything. However you sit at the IEP table, this is a powerful playbook that I wrote for parents, educators, and advocates navigating the IEP process. And it's a 7-part framework that I teach all my amazing partners, everybody that I've ever trained. If I serve you as a client, you could use this resource and learn the who, what, why, when, how application of writing an Epic IEP. Because what does an Epic IEP do? Oh, I don't know. It gives a family hope and it gives a child the future, right? And so this puts it all together in a way that's understandable, whether you have a doctorate in greatness, whether you are me, a good old college dropout, whether you're a mom, a practitioner, an evaluator, a related or instructional service provider, and this is going to be amazing. So please go get it. And we put a little surprise on the inside. Do you want to see the surprise on the inside? Anybody? Anybody want to see the surprise on the inside? Look, what does it say? When we get it right for the child, we get it right for everyone. So they are going out at the latest. You'll get it next Tuesday. So please go ahead and order so that there are some left. We have been unbelievably overwhelmed and humbled by the sales. We are number one on the A word. I can't say it out loud. In new releases and bestsellers for inclusive education. And Cindy, we are number 3 for education. So what? So I'm living proof. You guys went to college and graduated. I mean, if I can do this, you can do this. So awesome sauce. So Cindy, can I just say for the record, I don't know what that lip is. Is that Velvet Punch by MAC?
It is.
That's what Alan had on the other night. Yeah, I like it.
Oh,
We need to get some.
you look better than me.
It was a different time, ma'am. You were busy. We need to get Linda. We need to get Linda. We need to get Linda H. We need Linda H to get that lipstick. Yes.
I've read some reviews. Tell me about reviews you've seen.
Oh my goodness, we've had the most amazing. Well, can I just read you guys the back of it? So I will read. So it says, after 30 years of working in special education, I have never come across a more relatable, accessible, useful, and comprehensive presentation of the process that embodies a free, appropriate public education for our unique sons and daughters. Oh, do you love that line? This guidebook brings together a voluminous body of information, organizes it, and makes it easy to follow, even enjoyable to read. It delivers exactly as advertised for anyone seeking to understand the proper process for developing and educating students with special needs. This is a one-stop resource. The author has managed to strike a balance between technical accuracy and readability for just about anyone. I am glad to have this book as a reference and training tool for the many teachers, staff, and parents with whom I work. Dr. Valdez, administrative lead at River Oaks Academy. So super excited. And I'm not crying. I'm not crying. Alan's crying. I'm not crying. So this is my love letter to y'all. You need this. So really at the end of this, whoever you are, even if you were never in this process, you would be able to take a piece of paper and actually craft an IEP, right? So the training that's been out there for special education is good. We've had amazing training from Pete Wright, ridiculously amazing, right? Great evaluators, great technical persons, great attorneys, great evaluators. But we have all of this information in silos. Yep, I stole that from Alan and I'm keeping it. And so this puts it all together and it tells you how you craft it, where you get the information, and then how to tie it all together. The IEP is supposed to be tied all together, and this will make it so much easier for you when you are a team member at the IEP table, however you sit, because all of our voices are important. And I think so many people school districts are trained on, they're trained on the software that they're using, and we all know that special ed software is, let's say it together, wah, wah. Yeah. So go get this book. It's going to change your life, and we cannot wait for you to get it. We had, oh, thanks you guys for the gifts and love. We had a review, and it said, I never thought about this, but now I have a 15-month-old, and I never thought that if my child needed something at school, that there would be a challenge. And this brings clarity and light of how to serve kids at the highest level.
100%. And its readability is great, but you relate. I can relate as a teacher, as a mom, and as an advocate. You can pick it up. You're not going to want to put it down. Order takeout if you need to.
And
get your Kleenex.
You're going to need these. You're going to need this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Snacks, tissue, and a highlighter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Several different colors, because you're going to see categories.
Yeah, Erica asked if we pre-ordered it, when will we get it? So it's available on 130 platforms where books are sold. I believe if you pre-ordered it, you will, from the A word, it's delivered to you that day. So if you pre-ordered it next Tuesday, it will be in your mailbox, the front door. I think that if you ordered it from, we're on Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, bookstop.org, they have different ways. But if you just go look at whatever your order number is, there should be tracking information. Somebody said, what grades do you teach? Oh, high grade. I am high grade synthetic. I teach high grade synthetic. I don't teach grades. I teach amazing people to be special education advocates.
Yes.
Yep.
So we have a paraprofessional out there that said, you said paras can't take data, yet today at my training, my principal said we are to take data. Thoughts on that? I would like to keep my job.
Yeah, so I would like for you to keep a job. I did see a clip of one of the things that I trained on, and whoever clipped it too soon, and there was too much clippage. And so in the video it says that I said paras can't take data, but it was clipped too soon. So let me complete the clippage, right? So this is my notebook on what? Paraprofessionals, right? How does Cindy say it? Paraprofessionals, even in Massachusetts, okay? So what I said was that paraprofessionals are amazing support staff for highly qualified educators. And highly qualified educators are general education teachers. They could actually even be evaluators. They could be related or instructional support providers, an LSSP, special educators. And so paraprofessionals, which we know are the lifeblood of school districts, we're so thankful for them, are there to support. So if you want to know about the qualifications for paraprofessionals, I use this little thing called the law. And I'm not the law. I think I am sometimes, but we read the law. So if you don't have the law book, you can get the law book on our bookshelf. Please go get this. This is the Special Ed Bible. It's a book of requirements, not a book of suggestions. So go get that. This is on go to our link tree. It's on our bookshelf at Special Education Academy. But if you don't have the law, you can always look it up. It's called the Electronic Code of the Federal Registry. So it's called ECFR. So you would type in ECFR, it'll come up, and put in 34 and then the 300s, right? And so the paraprofessionals qualifications are not in that section. They're in the 200s, but the paraprofessionals qualification under federal law is 200.58 and talks about what their purpose is. And then we move over to things that a paraprofessional can do. Things that make you go, right? And so we only base those things off of what does the legal requirement say, right? So here's the legal requirement. So have you guys heard of No Child Left Behind, right? Since that was started by President Bush in, 2001. So they passed into law the No Child Left Behind Act. Remember, anytime that something says act, it means it was accepted by our House of Representatives in Congress. It was voted on, I'm sure debated at length, and then accepted. The act makes it a federal law. If it's a federal law, is it a legal requirement in your state? Yes. Okay. So, No Child Left Behind Act started in 2001 from President Bush. And then President Obama reauthorized it and changed the name. We like to reauthorize things and then change the name, but it really is the same components. There are some tightening up when Barack Obama reauthorized it. I think he actually gave even more reach to the states. But as it relates to this, paraprofessionals. So I won't read you the qualifications. The qualifications are set by your DOE, your Department of Education, or they're set by your SEA, the state education agency. So if you live in Tennessee, they will tell you what are the requirements for a paraprofessional, what are we looking for to be able to be considered for that job, right? So school districts post jobs and the requirements for that job are posted. So the specificity of paraprofessional requirements, find that out from your state education agency. So it says paraprofessionals may provide instructional support services only when under the direct supervision, and it's in quotation marks, of a highly qualified teacher. So for me, that's enough. For me, we could just stop there. Direct supervision, I don't know why we're debating direct supervision, but we like to debate. We like to say, yeah, but. So for me, direct supervision would be that I can at least, see you. Can I see you, right? So when we're in school meetings and my team will say, the requirement that is direct supervision, they will say, Miss Helton is the case manager and she is in the building. Oh, okay. So I wouldn't call in the building direct supervision. And then what we hear in meetings is we have a case manager. Miss Helton's amazing. She's a special education lead. And then all of these paraprofessionals meet with Miss Helton once a week to look at their paperwork. Good news. Paraprofessionals are not, we're not supporting paperwork, right? We don't write specially designed instruction over paperwork. So Miss Helton is a special educator, but she would need to work with those students. And then the paraprofessional could replicate, certainly, what Miss Helton did, right? It wouldn't be initial instruction, but she could replicate that. And while they replicate that, whether that's redoing what Ms. Helton did, taking data like Ms. Helton did, charting it like Ms. Helton did, they still have the paraprofessional requirements. These are requirements, right? So here are the requirements to meet under direct supervision. So this is what it says. Under direct supervision is met if. Say it with me. If. Number 1, the teacher plans the paraprofessional's instructional support duties. Number 2, the teacher evaluates the achievement of the student with whom the paraprofessional works. Not evaluates the paraprofessional's paperwork, but the student's achievement. And then number 3, the paraprofessional works in close proximity. For me, proximity is an arm's length. Proximity and frequent contact with the teacher. So let's say it together. There's 3 things: direct supervision, close proximity, frequent contact. So do we need a paraprofessional and a special educator for every single student? Well, no, that would be ridiculous, right? But if you have a general ed teacher and a paraprofessional in a room, no matter how amazing they are, that by itself will never constitute specially designed instruction, right? And so the support staff of the paraprofessional is there to do those amazing things that Ms. Helton, the case manager, identified that Billy needs to make expected progress on his IEP goals. And so we all get upset about this because, you know why you're upset about this? Because the people that you worked with, that you work for, didn't tell you the truth. They didn't tell you the truth, right? You know how I know that? Because I sit in meetings, my partners sit in meetings, and they bring in attorneys, and they bring in the head of HR, and we bring in assistant superintendents that say to our faces on recorded IEP meetings, we don't have any problems with paraprofessionals being alone with kids the whole time. You don't? I didn't think HR was run by the Texas Education Agency or the Department of Education for Florida, right? And so the persons that are liable and obligated with a duty and responsibility to deliver the codified IEP are the teachers, the paraprofessionals, the special educators, related instructional service providers. HR, never going to implement an IEP. Never. Your superintendent, never going to implement an IEP, right? So I would get your information from the same place that I get my information. Please go to No Child Left Behind Act. Please go to Every Student Succeed Act. And the statute is, say it with me, the statute is 1111 G as in girl, the number 2, and J. Like I didn't write this up, okay? But let's read it together, okay? It's met if there's direct supervision, close proximity, and frequent control. That's it. Whether you like it or don't like it doesn't change it. And so we have put paraprofessionals in a tenuous situation, right? And they're doing what they're told to do. And we're kind of doing the same thing with general ed teachers, right? We're turning general ed teachers into special education teachers. And we're turning paraprofessionals into special education teachers. That's different than their role, right? If it bothers you that I say it, then please, please, please go and prove me wrong, right? And I can help you with the proving me wrong because I like to prove me wrong. Long before you have to prove me wrong, I promise you, I prove myself wrong. Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? No, it is not my receipt for hairspray. My receipts for hairspray are much bigger than this. Do you know what this is? Any guesses what this is, Cindy? Any guesses what this is? What do you think I printed out? Every Student Succeeds Act, which is just a repackaging of No Child Left Behind Act. This is a lot of paper. Do you know why I read this? Because I'm a lot of things. I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar, right? And then we have frequently asked questions. So you go print this out. You go find the statute that says paraprofessionals can collect data when special educator is not in the room. Go, you print that out, you send it to me. I'll make a podcast. We'll buy a billboard. It does not exist. It does not exist. This became public law December 10th, 2015. Let's look at it together. Oh, you guys see that? See that? Every Student Succeeds Act. Okay. So NCLB, No Child Left Behind, and then was reauthorized into ESSA. Okay. So it's the truth. So whether or not your leadership has told you the truth, I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is I train thousands of people yearly, and the blessing is that 75% of them are educators who have educated me. I have never worked in a school as an educator, a full-time staff member, a long-term sub. I have ridden the band bus. I would like to say that. If you're having any trouble on the band bus, call me. Right? And I've been hired by countless school districts over the years to come and train them. I don't know why your school district doesn't train you. I don't know why every one of you amazing educators do not have a copy of the federal code. I bet all the coaches have a copy of their playbook. This is your playbook. So let's think this through. Let's let general educators do their amazing job. Let's let special educators do their amazing job. And let's let paras do their amazing job. They're all different jobs who are paramount in kids being successful. But let's stop looking at an IEP team and saying, it's possible that your child will never be in contact with a special educator this year. And that's completely fine with us. It's not fine with me. It will never be fine with me. And if you want to do that, I'm actually okay with that. But I'm going to need your district to send the money back. See, at the beginning of every year, every district, county, or city writes a letter from their state saying, "Dear Congress, Alabama will meet our obligations under IDEA with staffing, professional development, resourcing teachers with research. We will meet our obligations under IDEA." That's it. Nobody calls them. Nobody says, "Hey, how's it going, Alan? Hey, Linda, how's it going?" Right? So you tell me. I'm happy to be wrong. I'm thrilled to be wrong. But these are the requirements. And I promise you, if I was wrong, let's think about that, kids. If I was wrong, based upon the reach that our team has, don't you think that a school district would put out a video that we could all see showing you where I was wrong about paraprofessionals? Don't you think the school district attorney would be all over that? Don't you think I'd be getting a cease and desist letter? Because I'm not wrong. This is the Every Student Succeeds Act, okay? So Cindy, several of my partners, help me with these lives because they're super important. Cindy, how many years did you teach in public school?
27.
27 years. So when you met me, did you find what I was saying to be shocking?
Yes.
Why was it shocking that you're an educator, I'm a college dropout? Why were you shocked about what I said that is a requirement in the classroom?
Because I taught there for 27 years, teaching others. I have more degrees than a thermometer, and you got further with my son in 3 months and 1 meeting than I did in his 19 years of life and 17 and a half years of special education.
Right. So, but if I worked in a school and I saw me online and me was telling you something different than I'd been trained for all these years, I would think I was wrong, right?
Absolutely.
So when you saw what I was training on and teaching on, did you just take my word for it, Cindy? Or thanks, but no thanks, I'll find out for myself?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know why school, I can guess. I can pontificate. I don't even know what that means. I probably can't even spell pontificate. Isn't that a boat that you use for catfish? Anyway, I don't want to pontificate. What I know is that we are not honest with teachers. We're not. What I know is when I file state complaints and there's no credentialed person in the room for the qualifications of the job, the districts are found, the allegations are substantiated, and the districts are found to be non-compliant and are required to fix that and give the child compensatory time. So I don't know what it's like to work with somebody and they are not honest with me for decades. When we have everybody's role correct, then it works together great, right? And so I'm not a degreed teacher. I'm not a degreed special educator. Those are great people that have done that and have done the work and met the criteria. And we need those types of persons delivering the education that's due to children with disabilities.
Many people would like to know where can they find out where and when you are speaking, especially about the book, and can they get it signed? Where are book signings?
Book signings are at my house. They are from 7:30 in the morning to 7:45. You just pull up. I'll meet you on the front with my jammies. So we are having, what are we having, Cindy? We're having 3 book signings, the 12th, 13th, and 16th of February in Louisville, Kentucky, and Lexington. And so we'll nail down those. We want you to go to the right store. We would hate for you to go to the store and I'm not there. And so if you come to the book signings in when I'm at Barnes & Noble, when I'm at Books A Million, and you bring me your book that you've already gotten at home, or you buy it from the bookstore. I don't know, the bookstore will have enough. Yes. Oh, somebody said I pronounced Louisville correctly. It's Louisville. Yeah, I love that. Then, of course, I will sign it there. And then we have 7 events that we're doing, trainings. A few are open to the public, and then we have 2 private professional developments for school districts. The Epic IEP is sold in the bookstore also. Yeah, but because it's a new book, they might not have enough quantity for the number of people that we think are going to show up, because we love you guys and y'all are rock stars and we want to meet you on the road. So certainly reach out to us if you are interested in finding out what bookstore we're at. You can put a little thing in the bottom orange, or you can just email us at advocate@Special Education Academy and we'll get you that schedule. And then we're coming to a city near you in 2026 or 2027, because the book tour will be forever, because there's so many amazing people serving so many amazing kiddos, and we want to get this in your hands.
That is spectacular. If my kid is having a problem with the school social worker, can I take her portion of services off the IEP?
If your child is having a problem with it?
Yes.
No, we don't take services off because adults and children aren't getting along. We fix that, right? So we certainly want to make sure that sometimes adults and kids, it's just not a fit, right? But if a service is on the IEP, it's codified, we agreed upon it, and it's not being delivered, let's fix that, right? And so that the student receives that benefit. The reason it was on the codified IEP is because we identified an educational need, right? We don't just take it off because somebody is not doing it. We fix it.
How can we get your services? I have serious questions, please.
Yeah, just reach out to us. So you can just use the link tree above, or you can just go to specialeducationacademy.com. There's a box where you can fill out your information of how we can help you, whether that's training, speaking event, if you want to host us on the Epic IEP tour, what that looks like, and certainly representation, whether it's a records review, we file state complaints, we do FERPA and FOIA requests for parents. We go over their records and do a deep dive, our recommendations and next steps. And then certainly we represent clients at IEP meetings all across this nation, so that parents can go back to being parents, and then we will advocate for them to get what's appropriate for that kiddo.
Can you please tell me again the date the book will definitely be here?
So it depends on who you bought it from, right? So the book is still pre-order. It's the pub date is Tuesday, next Tuesday, the 27th, right? So depending on who you ordered it from, if you pre-ordered it, obviously I'm not buying books from 130 platforms, but that would have been at your checkout. But almost all books that are pre-ordered with enough, I think they call it runtime, should be at your house, the pub date. But I'm not a distributor. I'm not a publisher. I'm not any of those people. I do believe that everybody that pre-ordered it from the A word, you can't say the A word on this, which is where most of us buy all of our stuff. It will be there. It'll be at your house the 27th. How many of you guys can you guys tell me in the comments if you've pre-ordered it? Anybody pre-ordered it yet? It will make whatever outfit you're wearing look better. I can just definitely say that. Thanks, you guys, for pre-ordering it. Oh, thanks.
Yes, it's going to be the number one gift in my household.
Yeah, and this amazing law book it's on our bookshelf. Just go to Special Education Academy. It's on our bookshelf. We want you to have that. Thanks, you guys, for pre-ordering it. We appreciate it. We're so excited. It's going to be amazing. At the end of every chapter, there's a checklist for parents. There's a checklist for educators. There's a checklist for advocates. Because you know what? We're all at the same table. There's not two sides of the table. It's just one side of the table. We are serving a kiddo with exceptionalities, and now we can do it more comprehensive at a higher level.
Brenda says she bought 3 because they were fighting over who was going to get to read it first, her husband, or her mom.
Oh, thank you, Brenda.
That's awesome. My son has ADHD. He is academically behind, and they are wanting to place him in an autism program. Thoughts?
So we look at programming for kiddos based upon educational need. Every autism program is not for every child that has autism, right? But I'm so thankful that your school district is offering a continuum of placements, because that's a requirement. Page 20. just page 20, that we talk about a continuum of placements. And so when we're looking at a different setting, location, FDL, frequency, duration, and location, we're looking at, will it improve outcomes, right? Do we think leaving this spot and moving to here will improve outcomes, will improve acquisition of learning, will improve recall, will grow their strengths socially, emotionally, functionally, those sorts of pieces. So I would ask, could I please visit this amazing autism program? Is it self-contained? Is it just for core classes? Does my student get to go out for ancillary classes or electives? What is the expected duration in the autism program? What is the end game? When he enters in this program, if we do agree as a committee that's appropriate, what should I expect for him to have as new skills that he doesn't have?
I'm in a high school. Are paras of the opposite gender supposed to change students?
So do nurses of the opposite gender change children that are in hospitals? Yeah. So I don't see a reason why you couldn't, if that's part of your job. And I don't think that gender would have a bearing on whether or not that you could do that. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Can I go to any college with a special ed diploma from high school?
A special ed diploma. So I've never seen a special ed diploma. I've seen a diploma from a school. And so even now on our transcripts, it doesn't say special education. The only way that a college would even know that you receive special education services is the way your ranking is calibrated, right? So for instance, and I'm just spitballing here with no spit. So let's say that you are a general ed student. You don't have any modified classes and you don't have any advanced classes. So let's say that your average in high school was 89. Then for your ranking, we multiply that times 1. It's the same number, right? So let's say that you took advanced classes. Then we might multiply those advanced classes times 1.25, which moves you up the ranking. If a child has a modified course content or areas, then let's say that child got an 89 in math, then that district might multiply that 89 times 0.75. So even though all 3 kiddos had a B, it would move them up or down in their ranking. Does that make sense? And so I don't have schools now. I mean, one of the blessings of the pandemic was most colleges have kind of got away from that and gone back to looking at the whole child. But if you were in special ed or not special ed, nobody sends out a letter and it says, warning, 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 Stephanie was in special ed, right? Have you seen any adults walking around today saying they were in special ed? This whole, your record. It's imaginary.
Can I get help? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Kimberly just said, I just ordered the book from The Place. I like that. The Place.
The Place. I love it. I just have to say, I ordered more than one because I'm going to want to highlight and write it in, and then I want one that's pristine and perfect. And
yeah, that sits with like your Christmas dishes, right?
Oh, yes.
We have the baby's first lock of hair, the wedding, the marriage certificate, and then my book. Something like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So many of my teacher friends have called in and said, okay, which one is going to get it to me the fastest?
Yeah. I think the A word gets it to you the fastest. So, and then you guys are all going to join us. They're all going to join us for the Epic IEP Mastery Summit.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
Yes. My hair's standing up on my arms. I'm so excited.
So it says, is the Epic IEP good for paras? It is good for anybody that works with a child in special education. So absolutely. Yes, I go to meetings. I love a good meeting.
You can know zero about special education, pick up this book, and be in it and doing it.
Yeah.
Can I help with my stepdaughter's ARD and testing? Or is that on her dad? I want things to get rolling for her.
So that's a really, really good question. So, yes and no. right? So when I go into an IEP meeting and I have parents that are no longer married, and then some of them are remarried, the two parents that were the biological parents are the ones that sign the IEP in agreement or disagreement. Certainly try to get all my parents, one of my partners asked today, or ex-husbands or ex-wife or new girlfriend, whatever. I try to get them all on the same page before I get to the meeting. But those two persons, the legal guardian and or parent, are the persons that sign and agree or disagree. But certainly at all collaborative meetings, which I'm sure is the only meeting that you attend, if a stepmom is there and she has input, we certainly value that. Sometimes, though, it gets into, what's the word I'm looking for? A who's in charge thing. So we want to sort out all those pieces before we get there. Because here's what I do know. Parents that aren't married that disagree with each other, the district's going to back out of that because they are not family court. That is not what they're doing. I'm a mediator for the family courts for high conflict situations, because I do love a high conflict situation. And if that occurs at the meeting and one parent agrees with the school and one parent does not, all they have to do is take the parent that agreed with the school. So certainly, almost always I can find a way to get parents that are no longer married to each other to be able to work with me so we can get on the same page about what might benefit their child.
Excellent. Let's see. Is it legal for a para to deliver lessons that are planned by the special education teacher when the teacher is absent?
Let's think about that. In fact, forget thinking. Let's just get rid of thinking. Let's start reading. So my friend Cindy said reading is fundamental. Let's read it together. Can we read it together? Maybe I can make this like my backdrop. And yeah. So a paraprofessional may provide instructional support services only, say it with me, only when working under the direct supervision of the highly qualified educator. Direct supervision is met if the paraprofessional works in close proximity to the teacher and frequent contact. Direct supervision, close proximity, frequent contact. I feel like you're in the same room together. So a paraprofessional is supposed to reinforce what they saw the highly qualified educator do, whether that's a highly qualified general education teacher or a highly qualified special education teacher. Specially designed instruction has to be delivered only by a special educator. And as a great attorney one time told me, he goes, let me help you out. So specially designed instruction, here's how you know it's happening. It's special and it's instruction.
Mm-hmm. I am Joni, and I absolutely admire you. Can you please do a video on IEPs and NTI days? Please.
NTI days. What's an NTI days? No taxes or interest days. I don't know what here's the thing. We need to have a book called Acronyms Gone Wild in Special Education. Like we have an acronym for acronyms, and as soon as we learn an acronym, they change it. So if you can tell us, yeah.
Non-traditional instruction days in Kentucky. You'll be with people that can tell us all about that.
Yeah, let me help you out, love. We don't participate in those. Yeah, we on non-traditional instruction days, that means ain't no special ed going on. So we will take our day off. We will go outside and let the stink blow off of us. But we're excited about delivering the specially designed instruction in the codified IEP at the rate and prosody that we agreed upon. Non-traditional instruction. Silly wabbits.
Will you please show all the books again?
All the books. You know what they say about that lady? She's full of books. So there are 3 books that you need besides the good book, right? So you need this. In fact, call the school tomorrow and say, we're not coming till you get us this book. Like really, like this is, you know how you buy a car and there's a manual in it? When you go into a classroom with children, you shouldn't be allowed to get into the classroom without this. So you can get this on our website, Special Education Academy. This is the law. And then you can read it and highlight it and share it. The second book that you must have is this amazing DSM-5 criteria, right? So this taught me so much about the uniqueness and characteristics and comorbidities of neurological differences for individuals. So get this. This is also on our bookshelf at Special Education Academy. So amazing. Look at all these tabs. Do you think I put those tabs in there? I did not. But I do love a good tab. And then, of course, you're going to get this. So this is sort of the trinity, right? This is the trinity of special ed books.
Yes.
The Epic IEP. And so without these two, I would have never been able to serve kiddos at the highest level. Get them so that you can get the information that you need to serve kiddos.
Which one's the heaviest?
Oh my gosh. I don't know what paper this is made out of. I think it's like cement paper. But if you ever have somebody breaking into your house, you just tell them, may the DSM-5 be with you. Yeah. I don't know what kind of paper it's made out of.
Yes.
We should weigh them. Okay, Cindy, before next Monday, that is your task. I want you to weigh.
I will take you up on that task.
Yeah, your husband's an executive chef. I'm sure he can weigh. Got a chicken breast and the DSM-5. Order in. Ding, ding, ding.
I remember that one coming to the house, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's right again. Okay. Let's see.
Somebody said, are we coming to Connecticut? Let me just give you a really quick rundown. We are coming to New York. I was going to say the District of Columbia, which is Washington, D.C., Virginia, West Virginia, Phoenix, San Francisco, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, Kentucky, let me see something, Florida, Louisiana, Texas, Vegas. So you drive where we go. You drive where we go. So if you're interested in being a host location for your group, your nonprofit, your hospital, your juvenile justice center, and we're putting groups together, then we will, what is it? Eastbound down, rolling up in truck. Are you old enough to know that song, Cindy? Do you know who Smokey and the Bandit is? Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes, of course.
It's too late, Linda. No. So we're coming to a city near you so that you are. Seattle's beautiful. Makes me a little nervous when I park on the street and the streets like that. But it's stunning. New York, yes, we have we're finalizing our New York stop, and it's going to be New York, which I understand is that the capital? No, Albany is. Albany. Yeah, I've learned 2 capitals this year. We're coming to Kansas. Somebody said, where in New York? Inside of New York. We're just going in there. But it's going to be New York. As soon as we find out about it, we will dun, dun, da, da, da. What if we just did it like outside under those big screens? Let's do that.
What month?
A month where the ice machine's turned off. Somebody said where in Texas. So we have a huge event coming up in Houston, which I need to tell Stephanie. Because I tell people as it's happening live in person. So it's going to be at a university. I'm going to be in West Virginia. Is Marshall University in West Virginia? Alan, do you know? Yeah, I'm teaching at Marshall. And I'm going to buy a sweatshirt so I can say I went to college. And then what are you people going to say about my credentials? Yeah, there's Angie. If you want to be considered for the book stop or know the book stop or host a location or partially host, just email Angie at Special Education Lifeline. She is the hostess tracker. Yes, we're Virginian. What about Virginian? We're going to Virginia. I'm going to be teaching at Roanoke University and everywhere there's a Talbot's. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Is homeschool considered private school for an ISP?
Homeschool is homeschooled.
How do you go about getting the federal code again, please?
Yeah, you just go to our website, specialeducationacademy.com. It's in the link tree. And these are on our bookshelf. Yeah. How do we get tickets specifically in Kentucky and what part? Louisville, Lexington, Ashland. Just reach out to Angie at specialeducationlifeline.com or just send us an email through our website, Angie at specialeducationlifeline.com.
Someone says they want to read all the wonderful reviews. Do you know where to go?
To the review area. I don't know. I mean, there are people that have there are people that have gotten the book early because they are early book receiver. Like most of the things I do, I don't know. But there are people, Simon and Schuster gets out pre-copies to bloggers and readers and posters and thingers and typers and all the things. I don't know. You know what I know? Special education and hairspray. Those are the things I know.
Those are the important things.
Those are the important things to me. Would you ever have an event in Dallas? We are already having an event in Dallas. Jackson Speaks. So just reach out to us. We already have, Lauren is working on that. I think it's at the place that it's at. Yeah. So just reach out to us. We have lots of people percolating and have locations everywhere.
What are my rights if my school district did not, schedule my IEP by the end of the year?
When you say the end of the year, do you mean like New Year's Eve, or do you mean of the school year? Bottom line, if they didn't meet their obligation, they didn't meet their obligation. But you can go back to the table at any time. Somebody said, what is my degree in? Should I tell them, Cindy?
Absolutely.
I was the valedictorian. I don't want to brag. And I graduated in 1993 from Round Rock Beauty College. I always forget about that. Round Rock Beauty College. So if you ever need help with your hyponychium or your pterygium is giving you trouble, let me know. But no, I did not graduate from college with a 4-year degree. But I've got a Costco card and a Sam's card. So I feel like, here's the deal. You can have a degree and taken classes and got a master's and a doctorate and 7 masters and not be good at what you took classes for. So I am self-taught. I didn't have anybody to follow. I'm entering my 30th year of doing IEPs. I have been representing families all the way through due process hearings in the state of Texas, as allowed by the State Office of Administrative Hearing Judges. I probably have it's a little lower than it used to be, but somewhere between 50 and 100 federal complaints open. So, this notion or this conversation that you shouldn't be allowed to be an advocate if you've never been a teacher, because I don't know about special education. I'm going to tell you, you couldn't be more wrong. You know how much special education information I have? My son. I had special education every day of my life. And I'm not training people on how to deliver, instruction in a classroom. That is not what I do. I've never sat in a meeting and said, Alan, this is how you should teach U.S. history. I've never said, Stephanie, that's not the way you teach cursive. I've never done any of that. My job is to partner with parents who are challenged by the IEP process and help represent them so that they have the language, knowledge, and understanding so that we can craft an Epic IEP from the great information that schools have, great evaluations, great doctors, and parent input so that we can all be equal stakeholders and write an Epic IEP for kiddos to make gains. We have 8.5 million children in America, winter of 2025, that have an IEP. And unfortunately, the information couldn't be any less cohesive, right? And parents don't get time back. The child with a disability doesn't get time back. So I've never had a family concerned that I'm not a licensed teacher. They didn't hire me to be a teacher. They didn't hire me to be a tutor. They didn't hire me to instruct their child in a single thing. So I do not do that. You guys do that. Amazing. And I have 3 kids. Thank you for what you do. But this conversation that I can't be an advocate because I don't know what it's like to teach in a classroom, it doesn't collate, right? So what I do know is sometimes the inner workings of a public school do not serve their employees well, do not serve their educators well. But I'm not the one who didn't staff a room. I'm not the one who could have staffed the room, but used that money elsewhere. So those are different conversations and different needs, and we're working on those at the federal level and the state level. But here's the deal. When a family's in crisis and they've heard from another family that I might be of benefit to their child, none of them have ever said, can I see a copy of your degree from a college? Because what matters is, am I good at what I do? I think I'm good at what I do. I do this year round. I do this for a living. I do it full time. And I've had to get better at it for doing it this long. And it's what I love doing. But we have to stop that silly conversation that you can't be an advocate if you weren't a teacher. That would be like saying you can't be an oncologist if you've never had cancer. That's how silly that sounds, right? That you can't be a judge and send people to jail if you've never been to jail, right? We can all be different people with different skills and be meaningful at the IEP table. So I'm going to reject your notion that I must be a teacher in a classroom to be allowed to advocate, because the last 30 years say something different.
And it is 6:44 your time. Oh, how many questions would you like, ma'am?
So it's predicated on Stephanie giving me a thumbs up or thumbs down for the text message that she, okay, then let's do it. Let's just run up the clock. Okay, however, whatever Alan says. As soon as Alan gives us the question mark, it's over. Okay? Oh, and we're going to Waco. We're going to Waco. Who doesn't love Waco? We can go get the Magnolia thing, and we can get a big ball of kolache in West Texas. Somebody said I wish I'd met you later. I think you met earlier, Charlene, but you know me now. And we can train you to be a special education advocate. We love training parents and educators and grandmas and anybody that loves kiddos and wants to work with a team to help a child make gains would be a great advocate. Diane, how do we get a copy of your book? Look at that. You just go to the book place.
How do you know when your child no longer needs an IEP? And I can't wait to get my book.
So you know that your child no longer needs an IEP when their educational needs can solely be delivered by the general educators. Thanks you guys for all the gifts. I really, 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 really appreciate it.
A child has an IEP and needs services at home. He has been out for 4 months and still has no services at home. Thoughts? What do I do?
So when you say services at home, I like to tighten that up. So do you mean that he needs homebound? Does he need wraparound services? Does he need services from the community? So we can have a child on homebound. That's predicated by a letter from a medical professional indicating, based on the acuity of the child's needs right now, that the most appropriate place to implement their educational day is going to be at home. And that's usually 4 hours a week for kindergarten through 12th, 2 hours a week for ECSE. And then any of the related or instructional services, we can still deliver those at a rate that's agreed upon by the committee.
When an annual IEP is not scheduled or met within a year, what are my rights?
A year? What? Well, you have to have the annual IEP. That's why they call it annual. So I would just email the school and say, I think we missed the date. We got to get an IEP on the books.
So is the staffing specialist allowed to take the PBIP off the IEP?
You down with OPP? Oh, you know me. I don't know that anybody is allowed to remove anything without an IEP committee. We are charged with being a committee, right? IDEA was written on the consensus model, right? The federal law 50 years ago was written on the consensus model. What does that mean? Does that mean we always come to consensus? No, disagreeing is part of the human experience. I don't know why everybody gets so hurt about that, right? But it means I can articulate somebody else's position without agreeing with it, right? So we don't let, the behavioralist take something off, or the LSSP add something, or the parent doubling something. It doesn't work that way. We are obligated to convene a meeting, share information, concerns, recommendations, and then walk through data and make an informed decision. But no, people in isolation can't add or take away.
Do you do what they call due process?
Do I do due process? I do process. In fact, we should have, in 2021, in the state of Texas, there was one family that prevailed and won a due process. Who do you think represented them in due process? Say it with me. It's me. It's true, verdad. Yeah. So right here in front of these IKEA cubes, I've never sweated so much in my whole life, but I don't do that anymore by myself. That was such a high cognitive load. I am not an attorney. I play one late at night when nobody's there. God bless law firms and the paperwork. I have 2 pending due processes right now. So I will connect parents with amazing law firms that I know across the nation. And then I support those parents and the firm at whatever level that they need. One of the great things about advocates and law firms for a due process is if you're the advocate, you have valuable information that you could share and partner with the law firm because you were in all those IEP meetings, right? You've been serving this family for 2 or 3 years, which is really helpful for the law firm because otherwise they just get a bunch of paperwork. And can we agree that special education paperwork is sometimes, not amazing, right? Or it captures somebody's position, but not everybody's position. So, yeah.
I am an inclusion special education teacher, and I also have a BCBA, but I'd like to do what you do. How do I do that?
You know what they say in game shows and TikTok? Come on down. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. So the next 2-day in-person, which we already have scheduled, is, here I'm about to make something up. I'm not bad at that. The first weekend in March is our live 2-day in person. We're going to have 3 lives a year. We'll have 1 live. Okay. Let me look at my paper. All right. Hold on a minute. So Saturday, March 7th and Sunday, March 8th will be a 2-day live Epic IEP intensive. And then after that, 2 weeks later, we will start our 6-week mastermind. The mastermind are for people that want to learn our protocols, processes, and pathways to get kiddos an amazing Epic IEP and work collaboratively full-time as a vocation of an advocate. But that would be your first chance to do a 2-day live. We always have the 2-day on demand, and you can just go and get that, and then you have the recording, and you can listen to it 8,462 million times. But if you would like to be at 1 live, March, whatever I just said, what did I just say? 8th and 9th, 7th? It's in March. It's March 7th and 8th. So that should be up on our website soon this week. And it's good stuff. So we will have that, but we are desperate for good advocates. That make the IEP process better, that work with teams, that work with parents, that understands the nuances of the document, the evaluations, the purpose, right? Somebody said bareface. Are you sure it's not the 6th and the 7th? I don't know. It is the, I clearly don't know, do I? It is the 7th and 8th. The 7th and 8th. Look, I wrote it in pencil. 7th and 8th. 7-8. 7-8. That was a good year, 78. Were you born, Cindy? Never mind. Don't answer that question.
Yes.
7-8. 7-8.
Okay.
And then all of you could join us for free tonight on the Epic IEP Academy. So every Monday night, I train all the members of the Academy on federal law in series, and then we open it up for questions. It's live every Monday night. So the first month is free. I couldn't make the price any lower than that, so you can join for free. If you don't join for a month and get it for free, I can't tell you what you missed out on. And then we have over 400 hours of past trainings that are archived in the dashboard. Somebody asked how old I was. I am 60 years old and 1.5 60.2. I'm 60.2. Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't join the academy. That's where all of you guys are rock stars, and we all resource each other. It's good stuff. So go to Special Education Academy, go to training, and sign up for the Epic IEP Academy, weekly professional development, because sometimes it's hard for you to even wait 7 days for professional development.
Absolutely. You learn so much. Okay. And do you ever go to meetings?
All day long, every day, from the Kodiak Islands to Miami-Dade, Florida, to New Jersey, to San Francisco. They really like me in San Francisco. I just know it. Yeah, we advocate all over the nation. That was the biggest blessing of the pandemic, was everything went virtual, so we can serve clients back to back to back. So I do about 2 or 3 or 4 or 7 IEP meetings a day because I like to grind my teeth. No, I love IEP meetings. I love people. I love putting it all together. Palm Beach, Florida. Absolutely. We do love a good county in Florida.
Who should be running a 504? Should it just be the principal and the parents?
Oh, the old 504. I don't know who should be running the 504. We should have never looped in all these parents and said, ooh, 504 schools, it's amazing. I find 504 meetings like a harder thing to overcome. I find that the 504 chair at the school is really intense, and they take those accommodations like it's coming out of their paycheck. Here's the deal. If you have a 504, you have an identified disability, your school should have tested you for special education. Not a lot of parameters around a 504. We're not teaching replacement. We're not teaching new skills. We're not really usually tracking stuff. It's willy-nilly, which I'm allergic to willy-nilly. I'm related to willy-nilly, but I'm allergic to them. And they can actually call down the child with the school-based members and have a 504 meeting without notifying the parents. Would you like that? Would you like that if 5 adults from your elementary school and your 7-year-old had a legal meeting about their 504 civil rights? You would like that, right? I would not like that. And they can have a meeting with that little child who has a disability and add or take things off their 504 plan simply by asking the disabled child. You don't need a graphic organizer. Do you? Way. Yes, way. This ain't that. Nope. So Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 is a civil right. And it simply meant that if you were in America, one of the benefits of having an identified disability, disease, or disorder is that that entity where you are at could not deny you your needed accommodations as a civil right. So there's that. So I love a 504. If you fold it in 4 places, you can put it under your Dr. Pepper can. You can. I love it. Thanks, you guys, for ordering the book. We like it. Can you?
What training should you get as a new hire for a resource room teacher?
Well, you should ask your principal, where can I pick up my copy of the federal code? And then, hold your breath, right? As a resource teacher, we love resource. That's covered under 300.115. You have special ed students that are working at a slower processing rate. But yeah, I would ask for all of their training. Holly said, SPED parenting is rough. It's a nonstop job, right? We don't have spring break. We don't have Christmas breaks. We don't have any of that. You can buy this wherever books are sold. And we'll take one more question from the great Cindy Olm.
Behaviors in class from other students are affecting my child's progress in special education, which I feel is very important. What can be done? What do I do?
So a couple of things. Are the behaviors from the other children impeding your child's ability to learn, or are they safety issues? And if either one of those are yes, right? Kids have behaviors. All kids have behaviors. I I would address it with the principal and say, is that something that we can work on rectifying? Because if kids aren't safe, and if adults don't keep them safe or get them a different setting when they're not safe, or if a room is so dysregulated, other kids, their learning is impacted, then we need to intervene. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I just purchased your book. Thanks, you guys. Thanks. And we will see you on the road again. I looked it up yesterday. So we're going to, where are we going? We're going to Kentucky. And I didn't know that Kentucky was a freezer. And so we just picked the coldest weekend of the year. But I just checked all 6 days that we're going to be there. It's only going to be 43. So Linda, we just need, our volleyball shorts and a scarf. That's all you need. Okay. Anything else, the great Cindy?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you guys go to Special Education Academy, join Special Education, the Epic IEP Academy. It's free for your first month, and we'll see you there tonight at 8 p.m. Central. Remember, when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody. We'll see you guys in the next training. Hit subscribe, share this with a friend, and you know what? Meet me back here every single week. We're not just talking about change, we're making it. Because when you know better, you do better. And when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody.